Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined again by Christina Bell, our licensed massage therapist and owner of operator of Spirit Hands Massage and Artistry. That's spirit-hands.com is her website. And we want to welcome you back. Good to see you today.
Thanks, Jill, for having me. And I appreciate all the listeners who are tuning in. It's good to be here.
Thank you so much. For those new time listeners, would you mind introducing yourself before we start?
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, my name is Christina Bell. I've been practicing therapeutic massage in the state of Iowa since 2007. I have a range of modalities, but I like to work with people's conditions, injuries, scoliosis, multiple sclerosis, all kinds of really fun things going on. There's also the hot stone massage therapy that's very popular.
Well, there's a lot to you, and I know we're going to get into the ongoing topic of abdominal and legs and the importance, of course, of core and foundational structure. But before that, do you want to go over just a little bit about a description of specifically what a licensed massage therapist does?
Yes, yes. Because we are very easily accessible. It's common for people who are in pain to come to us. And you might notice I don't know any massage therapists who actually work with electronic booking because that actually invites a lot of complications. It's important to speak over the phone or text message to determine why you're in pain if we need to refer you to a doctor first, because there's a lot we can't do without a doctor's clearance first. The more we know about you, the better we can help. So our scope of practice is actually limited to soft connective tissue, which is skin, muscles, tendons, maybe the ligaments. So we can incorporate different kinds of manipulations, stretches. It's best to work with the breath to afford you flexibility, reduction of pain and mental stress. There are lots of secondary benefits and side effects to massage, but it's important not to get lost in the weeds. A lot of people come to us and there's a scope of practice that we have to operate within. Sometimes I find myself referring people out to doctors, physical therapists. Sometimes it's a physical therapy if they have a legitimate injury. And I just lost my train of thought.
Well, it's okay, but I got to show you this. Don't laugh, but I lost my
Yeah.
cast. This is because I think I have a carpal tunnel. I have a doctor appointment next week. So literally, as I started talking to you, my cast fell off my lap. I never put it on, but so I could, talk to you more about this later too. So now I'll help you with the train of thought. You were talking about the scope of practice, I think.
Yes.
And I know we're going to talk a little about like customers having reasonable expectations. You referred someone out, you said to a doctor. Sometimes you need a massage therapist. Sometimes you need a physical therapist, if that sparks anything.
Yes, it does.
Good.
Thank you.
You're
So for all of our education and training, we have zero legitimate authority. Even though I study pathology, I can't diagnose. Something might seem familiar. I handle a lot of bodies. I see a lot of trends, but I cannot conclusively say, oh, this looks like tendonitis.
Yes.
So this is how I'm going to proceed. Yes, I work with the integumentary system, but I am not an esthetician or a dermatologist. If somebody comes and says, hey, I've got this weird spot, this mole on my back, you take a look at that for me. Should I be worried about that? And I have to say, if you're worried about that, go to your doctor, go to a dermatologist.
Yeah.
The benefit of having a regular massage therapist is we do become familiar with your body and your moles and birthmarks and scar tissue. Over a span of time, if a spot does start to look suspicious, we can bring that to your attention. If you choose to prioritize that and pursue treatment, then that's up to you. I can't say, hey, this looks like melanoma. That's a big red flag. Very common thing that happens is because we're trained in the skeletal system. Yep. I know what generally feels normal. I know what feels not normal, but I cannot say, oh, you're out of alignment. you need an adjustment. Here, let me do that for you.
Got it. Yep. You got to be specific to what you, as a licensed massage therapist, can do. I get it. But
Yes.
people come to you with questions. It's normal. Yeah. And I know that's also hard and painful for you, but it's part of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, my job is to rub your muscles to make them soft. I am trained in anatomy, physiology, kinesiology. I am familiar with some exercises and the agonist and synergist muscle groups. That doesn't make me a physical therapist.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't make me a personal trainer,
Yeah.
even though I'm familiar with the gastric system and all the organs, I can't discuss food, nutrition,
Yeah.
dietary advice.
Mm-hmm.
That is beyond my scope of practice. And I think the biggest red flag is psychology, counseling,
Okay.
mental health, because people are living with depression and anxiety, and massage can help. And it is perfectly safe and normal if you need to vent while you're on the table. But a word of caution to any massage therapist who wants to engage with what the client is saying or to issue advice or counsel, or, hey, have you tried this? I was in a similar situation and this is what I did. That's never going to go well. That is a breach of contract. It's beyond your scope of practice. Technically, it is malpractice. Um, so you have to stay professional. My job is soft tissue.
Got it. All right. And what about the difference between tension and not, trigger points, all of that? That's something you can help us decide or
Yeah, yes.
okay.
It's I'm always tickled pink when I'm doing my job. Like if I'm using my forearm and my elbow up against somebody's, thoracic in between their shoulder blades, and there's a clunk clunk that happens. And they say, "What was that? Is that a knot?" Yes, it was. We are riddled with knots and tension. Now, what's really entertaining is tension, knots, trigger points, pressure points.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
These are,
Okay.
it's, they're all synonyms. They technically mean the same thing. And it's largely debated in the industry on the peculiarities and the technicalities and how do you define what a knot is, because it's very evasive. I'm interested that in Eastern medicine, they have actually mapped meridian points, pressure points. Martial arts will actually attack these pressure points. So they have been charted habitually. There are patterns throughout the body where we can detect most expectedly where these are going to show up, and they induce like referred pain or release. Um, so tension happens when a muscle contracts and it
Okay.
releases acetylcholine and calcium, and fresh blood flow comes in. There's supposed to be oxygen and ATP coming in to assist with the relaxation. When you contract to relax, when we contract too much and we don't have the oxygen and the blood flow and the ATP coming through our system, the muscle actually doesn't have the biochemistry to relax. So it becomes hypertonic, toned, hyper, it's just hypertoned. So our job is to go in and correct that muscle amnesia,
Mm-hmm.
remind it this is what it feels like to soften. Like I said, we're bringing in that fresh blood flow, which has all the nutrients and the chemical cocktail that we need to feel better. We get a good, beautiful hyperemic response where you turn pink sometimes. Get those trigger points to release. Those are just bound areas where the muscle fibers or the fascia has just locked up. It's become so rigid and it actually starts to radiate out to become a nodule that feels like a marble under the surface. So trigger points, they're always there. They're either active, they're fired up, or they're latent and they're dormant. You want them to stay dormant. We can still find them in martial arts. Those are the pressure points
Got
that
it.
we hit. They're always there, they're always latent. But when they become active, they're agitated, they're contracted.
Mm-hmm.
Then it starts to branch out and create satellite knots. and you want to treat a knot as quickly as possible, that's why I recommend tennis balls and self-help tools so that if you can't get into your massage therapist very quickly, you can still get blood flow and oxygen to that muscle belly. You don't want it, pretty much it's suffocating in pain. It's
Hmm.
literally suffocating without oxygen to heal.
Now, let me ask, for example, my arm, like I think it's carpal tunnel because 20 years ago I had carpal tunnel. I don't know if it's tendonitis. I don't know what it is. So I am going to the doctor next Tuesday for it. But can I just ask you a question if by just by
Yes.
looking? So this area here that I'm touching, which is painful, is that a tendon? Is that a bone? What the heck am I? Is it fascia? What is in this area of the wrist? I mean, look, I see the charts behind you. Like,
Yes. So we have series of the
as
body is
I'm trying to
layers and
be you. I'm
layers.
trying to be my own massage therapist at the moment.
So right there, what you're pushing right there on your wrist, does that hurt when you palpate?
Yes.
And it goes all the way down here.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are mostly it's tendons. The muscle belly is actually very short. Oh, I'm not showing
Okay.
you very well.
No,
So
it's
the muscle
okay.
belly is very short. This is the meaty part.
Yeah.
So this is what makes me wonder if it's tendonitis or um see doctors don't like us to Google.
I know.
I like you to Google.
I know.
Um,
Me too.
and it's funny is because you go to the doctor's office and what do? They
They
Google.
Google. They do right in front of you now. It's true. I went to the eye appointment a few months ago and they're Googling. Well, this is what it is, the dry eye, and it means I'm like, oh, you do use Google. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
No, so yeah, I mean, depending on what side it is, it could be tenosynovitis. I mean, there are different kinds of. It's just the different words mean which group of muscle it is that is affected. So you're really focusing here on the flat part,
Yeah. Now I'm confused. Now it hurts here, but it hurts here too.
and it's going to.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
why, as a massage therapist, if you were to come to my office today, I would not actually work this immediate area of injury. What I would do is quell the nerves from here up. Like you're mentally stressed out about being in pain until I know what
Absolutely.
that, yeah, until I know what that pain technically is when the doctor diagnoses it. I don't know exactly how to treat that. That's beyond my scope of practice.
Hmm.
But you're stressed out, which means you're
Now my
most
neck.
likely hyperventilating. Yeah, you're stressed out and you're holding it rigid, you're protecting it. You're also relying a whole lot more on your opposite side to overcompensate.
And this one's starting to hurt because I've been trying to do everything type with the left. Yes, overcompensation.
You're totally thrown out of whack right now. So I would work on the periphery towards the problem, but staying off of the problem until I know what that is. I cannot respectfully
Hmm.
address it. And it's up to the doctor, it's up to you to say, hey, how about massage?
Yeah.
And they will give you clearance or not. That's us working together. HIPAA's a big deal. I can't call up your doctor and say, hey, have you seen Jill yet?
Gotcha.
Um, yes. So, but you are gesturing a lot towards the tendons. But that could also be carpal tunnels, very elusive. It's the that's technically just a nerve that got super inflamed, which could be a lot of muscle friction that causes inflammation, and then it bulges beyond that little tiny foramen, the hole in the bone where it has to pass through. Um,
Yeah. See, I don't know the difference between tendonitis or carpal tunnel, or I don't know what that even means. And you just mentioned, okay.
Yeah. And see, a lot of them they cause symptoms that overlap with other conditions. That's why it's up to the
Yeah.
doctor. See, speaking vaguely, I have 8 months of training. They have 8 years of training.
Yeah.
That's why they get the big bucks. I have very, very short scope of practice. They have a very encompassing scope of practice. I don't have any authority. They have all the authority. That's why they're making the big bucks. But also, when crap hits the fan, I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault.
Hmm.
I was just rubbing the muscles way over here on the other side of the body.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, even in the circulatory system, blood clots. Do you have a history of blood clots? When we get injured, is your blood prone to clotting? Because a thrombosis could lead to a stroke or an
Hmm.
aneurysm. A massage therapist doesn't want to throw a blood clot and cause a person to have a stroke. That's why medical history is so important to have. We can proceed cautiously, carefully, keep you safe. Um, so yeah, I could speculate until the cows come home what that may or may not be. I don't want to commit to
Yeah.
any statement
No, of
because I ain't
course.
a doctor.
Yep. Got it. All right. Well, we
Yeah.
have so
So
much
in
more
the
to.
meantime, yeah, just give little squeezy loveys to your elbow joint because
Okay.
yeah, I mean that's still bringing blood flow,
Okay.
which is what we need.
Good to
It's
know.
going to stop. Yeah, and how's your grip? Are you able?
Yeah, well, like it hurts the computer with the mouse doing the mouse thing, but I just noticed this is painful right here. You just mentioned massage this area up here. Ooh, wow,
That's that's an active trigger point.
wow.
That's always there. It's on everybody always, whether it's latent or active. I will find it. I
I
can
never,
exploit it.
I never felt that. This one hurts. Wow.
Yes, and there's a difference between hurts so good
Uh-huh.
and ouch, get off me.
Got it.
There's pain being released from the body
Yes.
and pain being inflicted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
All
it
right.
just depends on how flexible you are. What I actually like to do is cross arms. I use my elbow to hit that point.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like,
The
oh,
one, yeah, the one that's not afflicted.
'cause now I'm
And I
putting too
just
much
go,
strain on this. Yeah, because now
do
it
it
hurts when
gently.
I.
Don't exert yourself.
Yeah.
Are the countertops in your kitchen, are the corners beveled round?
Yes.
Go in and lean on that point.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All right.
use your countertops. It's not unusual to find the corner of a door frame. And like if you have your shoulders, go work that corner right into the door frame. Massage therapists are very resourceful. We don't like pain. We will invent ways to get rid of it. There are all kinds of really cool self massage devices on the market. Like, for instance, um, I imagine this this right here probably hurts on you very much.
Oh, that hurts too. Ah,
Exactly, because that's part of the shoulder that gets hiked up when we're stressed out.
ah.
So we have what's called a theracane. You can
Mm-hmm.
Google that. It's this fun looking shepherd's hook with handles, and we're holding it so that it shepherd hooks down into, and we can pull and hit that spot at the same time. It's just a more ergonomic way of reaching a very strange insertion point. That's yeah. Um, I wish I had a better muscle guy to share.
That's okay. That's
Um,
okay. I know I'm not to digress, but I know for today you also wanted to talk about this screen time and headaches. And this is also a big thing, people working on the computer all the day and those headaches that's causing and vision problems now. And that's a whole nother issue too, right? And self-care tactics. So I didn't know what you want to get into. We only have 6 minutes, 7 minutes left,
oh,
but just letting you
sure.
know.
Yes. So I'm going to fly through this fast. A lot of our jobs are on the screen. It's important to have a very ergonomic work environment. I think a lot of people know that. There's been lots of talk about having your screen that's eye level, even when you're holding your phone. Don't hold it down so that you're like putting a kink in your neck. You're stressing out the splenius capitis muscles back there. So you're going to want
Okay.
to bring it up, even if you have to prop your arm up to keep eye level.
Okay.
Take breaks. Um, there are curved keypads. You're going to want that low, so you're not having to hold your arms up. If you have armrests, that's cool. A lot of people have standing desks. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, but when people come to me with headaches, I need to know, do you know what's causing the headaches? Is it light, sound, smell, allergies, food allergies, or seasonal allergies? Is it
Mm-hmm.
hormonal? Do you have a history of regular migraines? So when people, um, whatever I do on the table, I want you to try to replicate at home. So the easiest, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I also encourage people, if you have TMJ, headaches, anything like that, just headaches alone. I like to know, when was the last time you went to your dentist? Have your bite and your alignment checked. When was the last time you went to your optometrist? have your vision checked. If you're prescribed glasses and you're not using them, it's no mystery why you're having headaches. So, in the meantime, while you're with me, just pressing on the eyes, applying a little bit of pressure is very relaxing. We've got these sinus points up here. It's not unusual. You can use the knuckles of your thumb and drag them across your brow. That's it hurts so good.
That hurts so good. My eyebrows are gonna fall off. I colored them in this morning.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is cosmetics. I know it's
Ah,
we choose our priorities. So a really really good one. We all know about the temporalis,
mhm.
but it's not just here at the eyes. It goes under the hairline. You can follow these bony ridges because the muscles attach. The muscle belly is it wanes into tendons that attaches to bone. So all those tendons are going to feel so good. And I like people, if you can find your ear canal, I want you to go straight back to the base of your skull. That's the occiput. Got your atlas and your axis bones back there, all your cervical vertebrae drop down, but it's up in the hairline. And you can just do very gentle, circular, tiny. It doesn't take much pressure to start to release that.
Mhm.
Other causes of headaches can be having long, thick hair. Bobby pin headaches are legitimate.
Bobby pins. Yeah. I have
Yeah,
extensions in my head. I had them out for like 5 months. I just put them back in, and that always gave me headaches. But then I realized I had headaches without the extension. I thought it was the extension. Now I put them back in because we went on vacation, but heavy weight dragging you down.
you nailed it. It's all that extra weight. I I will never grow my hair below my jawline because it's just too much weight. I
Mm-hmm.
hate it. It hurts. So yeah, so that occiput area back there, and you were already exploring that upper traps. There's
Mm-hmm.
this junction right here where you see bodybuilders, they've got those really sharp corners in their traps. That's technically, I love the upper trapezius muscle because it comes down from the skull and it actually creates a twist before it covers the rest of your shoulder and inserts. So there's actually a corner in your muscle and you can grab that, you can pinch it, give it a jiggle, um, use that theracane to hit those points. Sternocleidomastoid. It's that lovely set of muscles that create a V shape in your neck. Using the opposite hand, reach across. You can start under your ear. Just grab it. There you go. It depends if
Mm-hmm.
you have nails or not.
Yeah.
And you can pinch all the way down. And to put some extra stank on it, when you find a point and pinch it, try to rotate your head in every different direction. Rest in that, breathe, relax, give it time to release. Find, and it's probably going to roll and buck you out, but
Yeah.
that's okay. It
Yeah.
does that, especially when it's very hypertonic. It becomes cordness. It's that tension that we got to go in and squeeze out. And you can actually really dig in. Don't hit your esophagus, folks. You can dig in and really pull that muscle out and strip it. It just depends on how aggressive you want to get. And then that hyperemic response is where you turn pretty pink. That fresh blood flow is bringing the nutrients that we need. So that sternocleidomastoid is awesome. And then we're getting into the scalenes off on the side and towards the back. But it's always best to have somebody else hit those for you.
I just, as a normal commoner, I never sit here and feel my muscles. Like, this is your business. This feels good. And I hope people out there listening kind of don't realize, wow, it feels good to touch these muscles and work
It
them.
does. It does. Self-help is awesome. It brings you back into the moment when we're stressed out, that gentle touch, that relief, that tension that's always there. We don't even realize we've just learned to live with it. And the muscle amnesia is legitimate. The pain gateway, the brain can only process so much stimuli at a time. It is bombarded and it can only send you so many signals. We have no idea how much pain we're actually
Yeah.
in or what hurts
Yeah.
more. So when you're getting a massage, you get relief over here, you become
Yeah.
hyper aware all of a sudden that
Hmm.
over there that hurts too. Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Exactly. And just curious for someone dealing with the muscle pain where I'm, or whatever you want to call this area without saying what it, heat or ice, or
Well,
that help
I know
too?
you said like a couple weeks ago you had moved a lot of furniture.
Yeah.
So we are past the acute inflammatory
That was in the
stage
beginning. Gotcha.
of injury. Yeah. So right now you have clearance to use heat and or ice,
Okay.
depending on which you get the most
Relief
relief
from.
from.
All right. Thank you, Christina Bell. I'm sorry, but we're out of time. So
I
much.
know.
We had a great show today. Wow, very detailed. Thank you for sending all the details. And we do want to reach out to remind us how we could do so. And I wish your spirit hands were closer to me. I know you're in Clear Lake, Iowa. Tell us how we can reach you.
Yes, my website is spirit-hands.com. Has all my contacts if you need to email me, call me, or text me. I'm always adding more information to the website. The frequently asked questions page is bombarded with information. Um, yeah, I just love massage and I hate pain. Anything I can do to help you stop it is better.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you back and looking forward to the next time we speak again. Thank you for today. Again,
Good luck at the doctor.
spirit-hands.com next Tuesday. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to cancel some of my shows. Oh well, it happens, right? Medical health comes first. Thank you so much, hon. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.